Yes, it's exam time, and maybe you feel you have little time to prepare or you could very well use some help. You have skipped several lectures, didn't really study the materials that were recommended, but you have placed your bets on test exams that are freely available. Exams that have questions that were used in exams on the matter in previous years, or at least resemble such questions. The good thing about these practice exams is that they often present the correct answers, be it a correct choice in a multiple choice question, a brief response to an open ended question, or a response or short explanation of some other kind. So you can kind of infer the general rule from the correct response to this question and apply that to the same kind of question in the exam, right? Seeing this question, you may think A equals 2, B equals 2, and when I sum these two values, I get 4, which is the correct answer to this question. So you go to the exam, well prepared with the practice exams that you got a hold of, see this question and think, aha, I have seen this in the practice exam. The rule is to sum A and B in order to get C. So the correct answer here is B. And next, you get your failed exam result and see that this was one of the questions to which your response was incorrect. But how is it possible? In the practice exam, the right answer was 4, because that was the sum of 2 and 2, right? So the problem is that in this example, you have been trying to infer the general rule from a practice exam question without any decent study beforehand. Looking, for example, at a worked example of this kind of exercise, a worked example that could perfectly be present in a lecture or in some of the study materials that were recommended. A much more constructive use of practice exams is to use them after you have studied the relevant and possible examples available instead of before or even in the absence of such study. A careful study of theory and examples, followed by repeated testing, can constitute a very powerful combination not only to pass an exam, but for the longer term, much more importantly, to also retain knowledge, develop an understanding of specific rules, and also slowly respond to this kind of questions in a more automated and confident manner. This approach, in which theory precedes practice instead of the other way around, you first learn the general rule correctly and then apply it through repeated practice. The problem with starting with the practice exam or even replacing study by the practice exam, for example, because one of your friends bragged that he passed the exam last year by doing such practice exams, is that several of the rules that are important for the exam and for your future work will likely be learned incorrectly. And for the upcoming exam, that may set you up for failure. And on the longer run, you will need to unlearn these incorrect rules, which takes time and effort as well. To recap, if you want to do well, it's better to study first and then test what you have studied in the form of practice exams. If we do so, we get to the right answer to this question not because an incorrect rule has accidentally led to the right answer, but because we apply the actual rule in a correct manner. And since the practice question confirmed that we have been applying the actual rule correctly, we are much more likely to identify C as the correct answer here. In sum, when used after careful study, practice tests can help, but trying to infer the correct rules just by studying practice exams or doing practice exams can actually be pretty dangerous. I hope you find this short video useful. And if you do, my name is Jimmy Lepping. I'm a psychologist and statistician with many years of experience in learning, assessment, exam training, and repeated related topics which you can find on my YouTube channel, Lepping Analytics. And if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below this video or get in touch via leppinganalytics@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and see you soon.